Hi, this is Tim Garman on NZDP101 for SIT, and this is particularly for Hannah. And Hannah, I'm just walking you through how to create a mask. I've got the beach scene open and I've got the minifig in place, and you'll see, looking at the layers palette, the beach scene in the background with its curves adjustment layer which creates the shadow. And I've got the minifig on its own layer, and it's indicated as a smart object with this little icon in the corner. So we'll come down to the bottom of the layers palette, and if I just mouse over that, this is how that icon, this is how we create a mask. We can add a layer mask. Now first of all, before we do that, I want to create a selection. So I'm going to use my quick selection tool and just select the figure. Notice I've got the whole of the background of the figure in as well, so it's the whole of the image. That makes it non-destructive. We haven't removed any part of it. So that's just a very quick selection around the minifig, noticing that I've got the that layer selected. We could in fact go in and change the layer name. We'll call it minifig. There we go. So selecting that layer, make sure it's highlighted. So with the minifig, with a selection created around it, let's go to the bottom of the layer palette, hit the mask icon, and the background disappears. And just looking at what we've got here, when we do that, you can see the mask appears attached to the layer that's the minifig layer. So if you wanted to work on the minifig, you'd need to select the thumbnail for the minifig. If you want to work on the mask and edit the mask, make sure you select the mask, and we can do that. And if we come over to our tools palette and we select the brush tool, and we want black in our foreground color here, so if I hit X on the keyboard, it will switch that to black as the foreground color. We can toggle between by hitting the X. So black as the foreground color, with the brush tool on 100% opacity at the top, and we can actually edit our mask. We wouldn't want to do that to our minifig, but if I hit X again and change it to white, that will bring that back. And of course we go outside of the minifig area, we find that the background to the minifig is in there as well. So let's just undo that and get back to there. So one of the steps is to move this around and get it working with the shadow. So when you do that, just make sure that you then select the minifig thumbnail. Now, one other point to make there is if you then put a marquee around, in fact, let's do it without a marquee. If we move the minifig, he actually moves with his mask. So sometimes you'll find that you move the minifig and he no longer fits inside the mask, but just using the mover tool you can move him around. So I hope that's helpful in terms of creating a mask, and hopefully that illustrates what I was talking about on my email. Come back to me, Hannah, if that's not clear.